Today on the Daily Scoop podcast from the Scoop News Group, a Senate Republican wants to track computer usage of agency teleworkers, and what Deputy Secretary of Defense Hicks is prioritizing during the presidential transition. It's Monday, January 13th, 2025. Welcome to the Daily Scoop podcast, where you'll hear the latest news and trends facing government leaders. I'm the host of the Daily Scoop podcast, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for joining me. Let's dig into today's top headlines. Federal agencies would be required to track and report computer usage for teleworking employees under new legislation from a Senate Republican. They're requiring effective management and oversight of teleworking employees, or Remote Act, from Senator Joni Ernst of Iowa, would charge executive department heads with enacting policies that record the login activity and network traffic of teleworkers' government computers. Managers of teleworking staffers would be required to, quote, periodically review the traffic generated by those workers and collect a variety of relevant data, including average number of daily logins and average daily duration of the connection to the applicable computer network. Ernst said in a statement, quote, "While DOGE stands ready to clean house, I will be leading the fight in the Senate to disrupt the business-as-usual bureaucrats who spent the last 4 years out of office." The legislation from Ernst is a continuation of the Iowa Republicans' targeting of telework in federal agencies. She released a report last month that detailed a variety of statistics on federal telework, including the claim that 90% of federal employees engage in the practice. In other news, Deputy Defense Secretary Kathleen Hicks is poised to complete her tenure at the Pentagon under the Biden administration, and she's been in direct contact with officials on President-elect Donald Trump's agency review team preparing for the upcoming transition, according to her top public affairs advisor, Eric Pahone. In responses to questions from Defense Scoop last week, Pahone discussed Hicks's plans and priorities for her final days helping steer the Defense Department's major technology programs. He shared that, quote, "Her priorities today remain the same as they have been since her first day in office. Foremost in support of the Secretary and President, she is maintaining her focus on ensuring that DOD can outpace strategic competitors like the People's Republic of China by fielding more combat-credible capabilities at greater speed and scale, continually iterating on novel operational concepts, distributing and hardening our force posture, and leveraging our unparalleled ability to generate innovation with and through America's private sector." Hicks was sworn in as the 35th Deputy Secretary of Defense in February 2021. She is the first Senate-confirmed woman to serve in the role and is the highest-ranking woman to have served in the DOD to date. As the Pentagon's number 2, Hicks launched the high-stakes Replicator initiative to accelerate the delivery of next-generation warfighting technologies in repeatable processes, beginning with thousands of drones to be fielded by August 2025 to counter China's growing military prowess. She also set up the recently sunset Task Force Lima to explore generative AI in a responsible manner and account for the seen and unknown risks it presents within the U.S. national security arena. Pahone confirmed to Defense Scoop that, quote, "Hicks made initial contact with the President-elect's DOD transition team lead on December 13th, noting that she'll remain at OSD through the end of the Biden-Harris administration at noon on January 20th. For more news at the intersection of the federal government and technology, make sure to visit fedscoop.com. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Scoop podcast, available on all podcast platforms. If you've already rated the podcast on your platform of choice, thanks so much. High ratings and good reviews of the show help more people to find it. The Daily Scoop podcast is a production of the Scoop News Group in Washington, D.C. Adam Butler and Carlin Fisher help put the show together, and the entire Scoop News Group team contributes. We'll be back tomorrow with more top headlines. Until then, I'm your host, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for listening.